What does it mean to be in the flow or embody more flow, or in Tagalog, Daloy, in our lives? Before I became an artist healer, I was a professional ballerina and contemporary dancer for many, many years. I started my first ballet class when I was 7 years old with Effie Nanya's School of Classical Ballet. And at 7, I knew very, very surely that dancing will be my life. At 13, I got a scholarship at the Lisa Makuha Ballet School in Pasay City. And then 13, 14, 15, all I could remember is it was a blur. I was living my dream as early as 19 years old. Carmen and Carmen, the Sugar Plum Fairy and the Nutcracker. I toured with Ballet Manila, Ballet Philippines, dancing lead roles, principal, soloist roles. We were also touring the Philippines and different parts of the world. I knew that it is going to be my life. But in my early 20s, I realized that something is amiss. I realized that there's something more. There must be something more to this. In this world, I was offering my world, my life, and also my body to an art form, molding every day in classes and rehearsals my body to serve an art form that critics, audience members, people from the arts will appreciate and look at and define as art. I was 27 years old when I just hit a wall. I knew that at a young age I was successful, I was doing many things, I'm supposed to love what I'm doing, but in this wall, before I hit 30, it was just this feeling of being paralyzed. I quit dancing with the ballet company and started to become an independent artist and work with different choreographers and eventually become a choreographer of my own. I wanted to find my own artistic voice. I wanted to do my own works. But then at 27, I felt so like there's something. I woke up one day, I couldn't move. And for a dancer, that's probably the scariest thing that could happen. When all your life you've expressed yourself through movement so naturally, so organically. And so my boyfriend at that time told me, okay, this is what we do. You cancel your shows, you cancel your workshops. Let's just go to the beach, let's just quiet, and let's just rest. And we did just that. And we did just that. And I remember distinctly one night, and it was a full moon, and we were just laying on our back on the grass and looking at the stars. I realized the first ever time that I verbalized it on myself, inside myself. I'm highly functioning and has built this idea, this identity of success and prestige and a good running career. But deep down, I am deeply depressed and I don't know how to get out of this really dark hole. So it was a full moon, and I started looking at the stars, and I don't know, just next thing I know is I'm standing up, I'm dancing, and it's not the kind of dance that I've ever done in rehearsals or in a show. It feels like it's a kind of dancing that I knew how to do instinctively, intuitively, before I even entered my first ballet class. And I was moving and I was breathing, and eventually I was crying and laughing. And all I could remember is that there was such a huge space for the grief that I was feeling, the depression that I was feeling, the not good enoughness that I was feeling. And at the same time, this joy, the sensation that there's a part of me that's bigger than me. That probably the same thing, that decided that there should be stars and the moon in the sky, thought, maybe I could also live. I danced and I danced and I danced in what felt like forever, in what felt like a flow state for the first time in my life. The next thing I know, it's morning and I'm really, really exhausted. After this turning point was when I admitted that I needed help and I need to heal. And what if more than a blossoming, beautiful career from the outside, what's equally important is a beautiful, satisfying, rewarding, fulfilling personal life. So I started my healing journey. In 2016, I got my yoga certification as a teacher. I studied to become a Reiki practitioner, then healer, and now Reiki master. I went into crystals, I went into tarot cards. I did different types of meditation, qigong, tai chi, all of these different movement vocabularies and ways to heal the body that still involve movement somehow and meditation somehow. At this point, I was determined to actually know what flow is, what happened to me that night, and how can I share this with a lot of people. When I started this healing journey, I realized that there is divine masculine energy, yang, structures, action, becoming, doing. And then there's also this divine feminine energy, yin, listening, stepping back, being passive, allowing, surrendering. And what I realized from these two poles or these two kinds of energies is that for me to be in this present moment would require more divine feminine energy of bahala na or maybe bathala na. Surrendering to presence and surrendering to the present moment where there's more trust and there's more intuition rather than going, pushing, and going for results. Eventually, with the dance company, Daloy dance company that I formed, and we were performing a lot, doing workshops a lot, came Daloy Movement, a workshop that is a movement meditation that leads people, even those who say that they don't have a dance background, they've never danced in their life, they have two left feet or they're too shy, could make dance. This is a form of a movement practice that is liberating, transformative, and also deeply healing. We started to do a lot of workshops in Manila, first with dancers, and then with thespians, and then people from different walks of life and even gender, different ages. We were doing workshops in schools. We were doing workshops in team buildings for corporations. We were doing workshops for children, for adults, name it. But the pandemic happened. And during the pandemic, as we all know, everything became uncertain. Now, Daloy is transforming as not only this movement practice that will release shame, release dogma, free the body from repressed emotions, suppressed emotions, cultural programming of guilt, shame, anger, resentment, hiya. But rather, it's opening much more. As in the last year, we have transformed the practice in the Zoom room. It's become a place for self-care that is held by a community, by people who wanted to be on Zoom, come as they are, be who they are, and use the Daloy, using intuition, using a present practice, using pakikipagkapwa, so that they could be authentic with their emotions. They could not only move, but also meditate and breathe together. And sometimes, in a Daloy session, there's more talking. Sometimes, there's more silence. Sometimes, it's just some natural processes of the body that maybe doesn't categorize as dance. Crying, laughing, moaning. All of these different ways in which, for the body to heal, it must be given the sense of safety that it could really express itself in that moment. I myself have experienced a lot of loss of identity all throughout my career in dance, in teaching, in choreography, and as a founder of this healing practice that is accessible to all. In the Zoom room, especially recently with what's happening in this lockdown, the people that we get are not those who want to be there to dance, but just people who need some sense of being seen, being heard, being held in a space because their dad died, or their business got bankrupt, or they're going through a breakup and they're currently for months alone and without physical contact. without our physical needs for contact, for intimacy being met. And how does Daloy, how does being in the flow, how does this being in a space of trust, surrender, and bahala na come in and offer healing? Well, here's something that I could share as something that we usually use in one of the workshops or sessions online. If it feels right, you can join and try it out for yourself. It's just a simple meditation. We sit with our spine long. I tell them to breathe and to slow down that breath. And as they close their eyes, can there be a softening of the facial muscles, of the cheeks, of the jaw? Can the neck relax? Can the chest unwind and feel a sense of calm and ease? Allow the breath to deepen. And allow a sense of pangangamusta towards your own body. Kamusta ako? Kamusta ang paghinga ko? Which parts of your body needs more breath, more air? Can you send your breath there? Can you send your attention there? And in this space of calm awareness, I invite you to just feel which body parts are holding the tension the most. Where maybe that's where, at this moment, the grief resides. Let it throb. Let it be there. Let it be. And let yourself be. On your next breath, I invite you to feel and sense the room you are in. Maybe the building that you are in, city, country. And in this soft sensing, perhaps you could imagine your skin dissolving. Let your body just feel spacious and connected to the space around you. Then let there be a feeling of your flesh softening even more. What would dissolving feel like? Get to a feeling of your bones. And get to a feeling of what's underneath your bones. And on your next breath, just let yourself be here for a couple more seconds. Trusting that the sounds you hear at this moment is perhaps the OST of the universe for this moment. And allowing yourself this feeling of dissolution and a feeling of who you are underneath your own physical body. Just give you a sense of being okay. restfulness, grace. On your next breath, I invite you to gently flicker your eyes open. And remember that for as long as you are breathing, a dance is happening inside you. And that if it feels right, from all the grief and loss, whether loss of identity or a job or a relationship or an actual loved one, is there and vibrating in your body as pain or as grief, grace is accessible in the pause. And that in the moving forward, there's still a choice to flow with the Daloy of your life. Thank you.